What is the last year as an SRNA? And what is that? And how is that experience? And what is the transitional point to become a CRNA and graduating? Well, in this video, we're going to talk all about it. So definitely keep watching. My name is Christine and welcome to a new video. If it's your first time here and you want to become a CRNA or grow your CRNA career, start now by subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss anything. So we must be wondering, maybe you're a SRNA currently and you're in school and you're just curious, how will my last year be as an SRNA and how that transitional point happened? How would you feel towards the end? Or maybe you're just a nursing student who's curious about it, because that's a big time, especially becoming a CRNA, because you're at that point where you're about to graduate and you're going to become a CRNA. So what to expect in that last year. And I'm here to give you all that information right now because I'm currently an experienced CRNA and I'm here to give you that information and let you know. So let's get on to it. My experience when I was an SRNA, and I remember when I started CRNA school, just to start from the beginning, really temporarily, I remember that I had a newborn baby. I remember going to my orientation for nurse anesthesia school, and I was pregnant, 9 months pregnant, and with my beautiful daughter Bella, and I said to myself, I'm gonna do this. Yes, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna have a baby, but you know, sometimes I could say to myself that I was a little naive, because I really didn't know. I was like, oh, having a baby, going to school, I'll be fine. But I had a supportive family. My family was super supportive. My husband was super supportive. He's like, we can do this. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens. Let's try to do what you want to do, because he believed in me and I believed in myself as well. So we did it. I went to school. It was very difficult being a CRNA student and having a family. That balance was definitely a rocky one. But at the same time, I had a support. And yes, my first year, and I have another video on that, so definitely click the link above about your first year as what to expect as a SRNA. It was rocky, you know, it was a transition because I expected, you know, I was an ICU nurse, I've seen a lot. I also was a nurse, of course, and I went to nursing school and I knew how hard the program would be. But CRNA school was on another level. It was basically reminded me of medical school. I never went to medical school, but in the mindset, it was so hard. I was like, whoa, this is information that I've never heard of in my life. Even though I was an ICU nurse, a lot of principles were all new. It was all fresh. I didn't have a foundation with the information that I'm learning. You know, yes, I had the hands-on clinical experience, but the information of anesthesia was all brand new. So I definitely recommend that when you are considering going into CRNA school to prepare yourself so you kind of have a head start, definitely start preparing yourself. Start looking over the information. Maybe you don't want to go into too much detail, but just kind of graze through it. Because honestly, I feel that would have helped me if I was in your shoes. And I have some videos and some study tips that will definitely help you to start learning and growing. So definitely click the link above on that, okay? So I went through my years, of course, in CRNA school, and I learned a lot, I grew a lot, and I loved it. And yes, there were days where I was like, can I do this? Can I finish this program? Like, I don't even know if I can do it. But I had to keep reminding myself that I can do it, because my CRNA director at my program, he said to all of us, look to your left, look to your right. You're all graduating, okay? First day, he says, yes, it's gonna be a hard program. You're gonna be definitely challenged, but you're all gonna graduate. There's no such thing as you not graduating or he not graduating. I want you all to graduate. I want you all to be successful. I want you all to work hard. I want you all to be the best that you can be. And let me tell you, he never gave up on us. And at the end of the day, that meant the world to me. He made a difference. That's why I have so much, compassion for educators, because it's a tough job, you know, but at the same time, you are giving back to your profession. So, and you make a difference. And no matter what, you're always gonna remember your director. And I feel like directors that are out there now, thank you for your service. Thank you for educating us, because at the end of the day, you made us who we are today. So now, let's get into the information that was set in for me. I'm sorry I'm going off on a little tangent. But in the last year of CRNA school, what to expect? So I remember my last year of CRNA school, you're doing more hands-on clinical experience. You're gonna do, working 5 days a week. Sometimes you'll be doing call shift. You're gonna be working, night shift. You're gonna be working different types of shifts. You're gonna be working different environments, all different type of, to get get all your numbers, because you're all gonna have to get a certain numbers in different areas in order to graduate. And that's just baseline throughout the whole anesthesia world. So you're gonna be focusing on getting your numbers, making sure you have all your required clinical experience. Now, sometimes you'll have lectures, maybe once a week, where you'll meet with your director or your professor and make sure we're all on the same page. As well as your last year, you're going to be preparing for boards. So to make sure that you graduate, of course, but then also you got to take your board exam to be certified to become a certified nurse anesthetist. So you're going to be taking a lot of coursework. You're going to be going through maybe taking classes or review exams, or you may have an online, like for example, Apex, for example, that's another resource that's available to us. You may go on a conference to Valley Review, for example, and get that information and knowledge base, make sure you're on point, make sure you're studying appropriately for your board exam. As well as you may be looking at job opportunities, because even though you have not graduated, people all over the country are looking for you. And there's tons of job opportunities in front of you, and everyone's gonna want you. So even though you are in your last year and you haven't graduated, definitely start looking for positions now. I remember before I even graduated, I think it was probably 6 months before I graduated, I already had a job opportunity. I started my credentialing. I started organizing myself to get ready to work as a CRNA. So just to give you an expectation of what to expect when you're graduating. So just to expect that, it's gonna take 3 to 4 months credentialing period. Yes, you got a job. You cannot just get a job and start working the next week. Like I remember being a registered nurse, you can do that. You can get a job, start working the next week, no problem. There's a 3 to 4 month, depending on the place you're gonna work, credentialing period. They're gonna do background checks, they're gonna need your resume, they're gonna need all of your licenses, all your certifications, letters of recommendations. They're gonna need like so much information. I can't even grasp upon it. So every single time I've ever applied for a new job, 3-month minimum time period. They may say, oh, we can expedite it, but usually it's 3 months. So you gotta make sure that you don't wait the last second that you're gonna graduate, take your board exam, and try to work right away. 3 months expect that it's gonna take for you to actually start that position, okay? So that's something you gotta think about in your last year, because yes, I'm gonna be a CRNA, but you wanna get a job, jobs are there, but you gotta make sure you have enough time to get credentialed to be able to work at that facility. So yes, that's exciting. I mean, I remember my first job. It was a level 1 trauma center. I learned a lot. I mean, even though I had that experience, I felt honestly, as a CRNA student in my last year, I felt very confident. I felt like I knew my information. I had my skill set, I had my clinical experience. So I felt comfortable to transition to be a CRNA. But at the same time, you always had a preceptor. You always had someone behind there that if you needed something or you needed any questions, you always had them. And they were pretty much monitoring, making sure everything was streamlined with you when you are practicing. When you're on your own, it's like you get your wings and you get to open it up wide and fly with all the birds. Because at that point, you are on your own and you're able to expand yourself. You got all these different things that you learn from all your different clinical preceptors. And you take all of that and you sit there and you take what you want. And that makes you a unique CRNA. Because every CRNA is different and every CRNA has different things that they have that makes them special. I really believe that. But you take all of those things that you see and you say, I like this, I like that. Maybe I'm not going to use that one right now. Or maybe I'll try this. And you take it all together and it becomes you. And you become that CRNA that's practicing anesthesia, doing a phenomenal job, being compassionate, and definitely providing holistic anesthesia care to your patients. Even when you are transitioning to becoming a CRNA with that last year, taking your board exam, and then going to become a CRNA, working actively, it's going to be a transitional point, like I said before. But at the same time, don't ever be afraid that you're alone. you can always ask your coworkers, because wherever you're working, you make sure you have a culture that is a teaching culture where you feel that you can learn and you feel that you can grow. And remember, you're not alone. You have anesthesiologists, you have other CRNAs, you also have nurses who know these specific surgeons, know these specific cases. They can give you tips and tricks to be successful. So no matter what, even when you are a CRNA working on your own, because even when you transition to a new job, you're gonna have to still learn the environment. Things are done a little differently. Of course, anesthesia is the same throughout, but things are different, you know. In anesthesia, you learn different arts that grows you into this unique person. So definitely remind yourself that yes, it's gonna be a transitional point, and everyone's different, and everyone grows differently. But just remind yourself it's gonna be an amazing job. You're gonna constantly learn and grow. And even though, and I'm an experienced CRNA, I am still learning, and I love that about myself. That I want to learn and grow. I never feel like I know it all. I don't, because at the end of the day, you will have that patient or this specific surgery or this specific situation that's gonna humble you and say to yourself, wow, this is amazing. Or maybe meet a CRNA and they're gonna give you some tips and tricks that you're like, wow, I never seen that before. So you're gonna learn and grow no matter what. So just to remind yourself, your last year is gonna be mainly clinical based. You'll be transitioning for boards, you'll be transitioning to getting a job, and you can transition to fly and be this amazing CRNA thriving in your career. So if you want to learn more about CRNAs and how to grow your CRNA career, definitely go into these videos over here, and I'll see you in the next video.